Well, how was that?
That was enlightening, for lack of a better word.
Well, let's start with what was your biggest aha?
I think maybe I used to associate punchier, bolder colors as something that made the most sense for my energy, my complexion, and so forth. But then putting on the more B colors that I didn't think even showed up in my quiz ended up being the most symbiotic.
Very interesting, because you did take the quiz before we did it, and your feeling was that your answers fell more in the C category, but it just points to the fact that we see ourselves a certain way. And so you answered it the way you see yourself. And the quiz added up to type C being your dominant. Where's your little packet there? Our true hue card, this is her type B. A type C is actually a type B with fog over it. So really, they're very much the same palette, except that a type B is much softer, and a type C is just straightforward color out of a jar, whereas a type B is much more muted. And it's true in personality too. When I asked you that question about how are you with a group of people in a room, do you consider everybody's opinion? And you said yes, you really like to listen to all of that. That is not something a C does, because they're really sure of themselves. They're so sure that that's a flaw sometimes. Sometimes they're seen as conceited, when in fact they just know what they are. And that's a downfall and an upside.
It also ties to the astrology conversation we were having before about how I initially present in the world, but what also lives within me and my intuition. And so when most people meet me, they see the Aries, they see the fire, and then they're sometimes like, what do I do with this? But as they interact with me, then all of that rich inner openness starts to present, and that's more of what governs my choices, which is more of the B.
And I dare say, as you age, the B she'll guide you, because that's really, I think, the essence of who you are. And that's part of why this is so valuable to you right now.
Yeah.
For example, in the shawls that Taryn brought, what we found was that when we put her in bright sunlight, and you've seen this in the video the clips we just did, that of these three, this one is just amazing on her. If she could wear everything in that color, it'd be hard for her to go into a job interview in this color, because she would dominate the room. It'd be a little bit much. But on a date or any presentation, anywhere she wants to be a 10 and a half, this color, shape, and texture. So part of what's on these little cards, what I call them true hue cards, is not just the palette. And it doesn't mean that you match the red to her red. It doesn't mean that. It means that the card literally melts into the color family. So if this red wasn't correct, this card would almost bounce off of there. But the words on the other side also lend to what you want the fabric to do. So subtle, soft, relaxed, flowing. This fabric is all of those words. Subtle, soft, relaxed, flowing. And where did you say it's from, Nepal? Oh, so it has wonderful memories for her. And also these shapes on her card. It's a very soft S, like a meandering stream. And it's a soft rectangle. There's no edges to it. Whereas on the C card, the rectangle is hard and the oval is sure. And the words on the Confident Completer, the C card, are striking, contrasting, smooth, and firm. They're literally a very different feel. That's just what we're born with. I don't know why it happens. That's just what it is. Tell me how it shifted for you when you were sitting in the process. Where was the moment where it really started to shift?
There's the belief system. So there was what we talked about before, the belief in black, sometimes, and white, being really in the classic family. And we started with white. I first held up the white, and then I held up a cream, and the white made me look green.
It wasn't that easy to see at first. We looked at it back and forth, and all of a sudden she said, I see green. While that's true, that wasn't even what I was looking for. I was looking for what was happening under her eyes. Her response was that she noticed that the whole thing changed the reflection of her. Either way, the cream was more flattering. So we're not trying to tell her how to dress. We're trying to see what colors work for her.
Right. So immediately what was, a conditioning or a education around fashion, we'll call it that, immediately shifted. And the first two color tones we compared, because the creamier, dreamier was more symbiotic with my everything. Under the eyes, also the skin, which also speaks to the B of being curved and soft and more supple than what was more of a crisp and bright white. So yeah.
And interesting, as you're speaking, I'm just, now we both know what you are. But that's your strength too, is you get to be this powerful, strong woman without ever feeling like you have to be all those C words.
Right.
You're
not necessary.
It's not. In fact, it confuses us. You know, when I was raised by a very abusive man, so I didn't want to get hit, and I got hit a lot, so I tried not to. And I thought if I dressed softer, acted softer, spoke softer, I tried to be you. I tried to be a bee. I didn't know at the time that's what I was doing. I just tried to fly under the radar, being something I wasn't. And I grew up thinking ruffles were the way that I should dress, when in reality they weren't at all. It was confusing as to who I was, until I figured out, oh, I'm a C. I'm that person. I was just born confident. I didn't earn it. It came with. So by learning to show up as I innately am, there's less confusion. What else came out of this that feels a little freeing for you?
Freeing. I think I did like the conversation quite a bit about the texture. I don't think I had as much correlation with also fabric and texture and those sensibilities in the bee. So, for example, with this scarf that I purchased in Nepal, it's soft and buttery and supple. And it does speak to a broader sense of my sensibility, and I do find it freeing that having these textures on and around me is a good play. It's a way to go, both for my senses and also for the other, to create less confusion in perceptivity. As well. For
example, if you grab that lime green, while Taryn loves this, it's confusing. You know, now, I mean, the difference between those two, and yeah, they're different colors and all that, but you could use this in your home, in your home decor. You can use any color you want in your home. We're talking about specifically on your person. Now, you can do your whole home in your type if you want to. I don't. My home is an amalgam of everything my husband and I have gathered throughout our lives, and so there's no one type of anything. But,
that makes a lot of sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's more of our own little museum.
This is the color of my home. So this is going to work really well in terms of both on me and around me. And in the home environment, which also ties to the curves and the rounded edges. I also have done that in the home. And it obviously ties towards some of which I purchased in my travels. So this is also liberating in confirming the journey that I've been on.
Very good.
With design. And also now for myself, because I would wear this in a dress.
That would be hot.
I'd wear this in a nice...
And finding some red lipstick this color.
Yeah. I'm going to have to find a custom makeup lipstick maker so I can get this exact sort of blue-red made.
Lovely. I may want some.
Maybe we'll go make it together.
Maybe. And you know, as you were talking, I was thinking, you're such a maverick in terms of who you are becoming, how you've lived your life thus far, and what I know of you and where you're headed and all of that, that as you just hear that, as you hear me say that, and now what you just learned, how does that, in any way, does it feel like it's like coming together just a little bit more?
I think so. I think my life in general has been a wild ride to this point in time. A very tiring one as well. And I think what I've learned so far about who I am and the experiences I've been through, the relationship with making life even a little easier and leaning into the lessons, there is an analogy there with the color and texture and embracing more of the learned version of who I am and the softening of who I am. And the less of the people pleasing, and I'm very valuable, and I'm worth it,
Mm-hmm.
and catch on, people. You know, I don't have to prove it to you. I can just be
Nope.
worth it.
No.
And you're with it or you're not with it, and all of that feels like it does tie toward the freedom
Mm-hmm.
and the okay, we've done the work and now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I love this. I'm not surprised by this, but it is interesting to me that we're not sure yet if you can wear black, because you seem to get away with it. And I know there are some bees that can wear it. My son is a bee who can wear black, and you guys are the same age.
Yeah.
And by the way, this does work on men. It's just that men are so much easier because they don't argue if they have a closet full of black and they find out they can't wear it. They go, I don't care, just get rid of it and I'll wear navy, I don't care. And then women are different. You know, we have hair and makeup to be considered. A lot of us do. I've stopped wearing makeup, it seems like. But I think makeup is the kind of thing that you can choose. Like, I wonder what would happen if we put makeup on you and you put this on. What do you think would happen?
It's very creamy. That's what I've noticed, because I tend to wear this color only in the summer. Right. So I'm much more tan and bronzy, and right. I don't wear sharper lipstick. I wear meltier lipstick colors, and then my hair is not back. It's usually out and big and very right. curly, and so the darker hair also grounds the features. So this brightens those features. So it's not that she can't wear it, it's that, do you know who she is when she does wear it? Because she might appear to be somebody completely else. That's very true. Right? And this is usually worn in warmer climates. This is a thing that I usually take when I visit Puerto Rico, where my family's from. This is to me like the Caribbean. This is like humidity. Mm-hmm. I wear it as a shawl, but I also wear it as a wrap over my bathing suit. So that personality is a little bit different when I'm in those climates and those temperatures and around those people and having a cocktail on the beach with salty air. I rarely wear this in the desert. This I would wear in the desert. I think you'd wear that to bed. You'd wear that anytime. But I'm gonna have to get a quilt out of it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that the point of that conversation isn't so much what you can and can't wear. It's that now Taryn has information she didn't have before about how her image responds to certain colors. So she can choose what she's going to do with it. And this color, it may or may not be a 10. I'm not here to, that's not my job. I'm not the person who judges that. My job is to show you what I see, and that's what we saw through the camera lens. And so when you choose to wear that, you'll know what you're creating versus, let's say, this green. Right. Right? Yep. Or another blue, or something else that is more in your color family. The whole premise of this isn't to give you more rules. It isn't to tell you how you need to look. It's to, as we're aging in a culture that tends to tell us we're over the hill at a certain age, which is usually after 35, if we have certain tools that help us help ourselves. Mm-hmm. And knowing your color family is one of them, in my opinion. Yeah, I think so. If there's anything that can make the subtleties of life a little bit softer and easier, why not? Why not? We have enough obstacles as it is. Yes, we do. Well, I think that's it for us today. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Thank you for everything. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. Thank you for being here. See you later. See ya. I hope that thing is recording.